Hi everyone, and you're welcome to this year's Junior Cycle Science prediction videos for 2026 with ExamRevision. Now, before we get into the predictions for this year, just a quick overview of the layout of the exam and what you can expect in the exam in June. As always, there's going to be two sections, Section A, which is your short answer questions, and Section B, which is your long answer questions. In the short answer sections, there are always going to be 10 questions, and you have to answer all of them. There's no choice. Each question is 15 marks for a grand total of 150 marks, which is about 42% of your final grade. In Section B, long answer questions, the number of questions has varied, so usually it's somewhere between 5 and 7 questions. Again, you're required to answer all of the questions, and then depending on the number of questions that are asked, each question will carry either 30 or 45 marks. If there's only 5 questions, well then you're probably going to have more 45 mark questions, but if there's 7 questions, we're likely looking at 7 30 mark questions. So grand total in Section B, 210 marks for an overall total of 360 marks. Now, just before we look at the predictions again, an overview of all of the content that you've been looking at over the past 3 years in school is all based on this document in front of us, the Junior Cycle Science Learning Outcomes. Now, the vast majority of content you will have covered will have come from Earth and Space, Chemical World, Physical World and Biological World, but the nature of science is there too, okay? So things like forming a testable hypothesis, gathering data, presenting your results, evaluating data, looking at bias, all of this stuff is the nature of science, and questions can be asked on that and interwoven through the other 4 strands as well. Now, if you have a look at just Earth and Space, Chemical World, Physical World and Biological World for a minute, and we'll focus in on Biological World 1, which is in the top right hand corner. On this document, we're told that we need to be able to investigate the structures of animal and plant cells and relate them to their functions. Now, that's very, very vague and doesn't really tell you the ins and outs of everything you need to know when you're studying the animal and plant cells. So, for example, you probably looked at this back in first year. You would have looked at the structure of the animal and plant cells by looking at their diagrams. Can you draw the diagram? Can you label the diagrams? Can you name all of the structures inside of the cells? Can you give the functions of each of the structures? Then you would have looked at the microscope, the structure of the microscope, how to calculate total magnification, name the parts of the microscope. You then would have did the experiment with the animal and plant cell, where you stained probably the onion cell for the plant cell, and then a cheek cell for the animal cell. All of that is included in that one learning outcome. And it can make it a little bit difficult just reading that document there to know the exact ins and outs of what you need to know. So to make it a little bit easier, I developed this document here, which takes each of the learning outcomes on the previous slide and breaks it down into, I suppose, the nitty-gritty steps that you need to know before you go into the exam. So if we take a look at the one directly in the centre there, ES4, develop and use a model of the Earth, Sun, Moon system to describe predictable phenomena observable on Earth, including seasons, lunar phases and eclipses of the Sun and the Moon. That's all that's on the previous slide, but what does that actually look like in context when we have to go and study that for our final exam in June? Well, you need to know exactly what a season is. You need to explain and illustrate, draw a diagram, how the Earth's tilt affects the seasons and draw a relevant diagram. You need to outline the phases of the moon, define relevant terms such as waxing, waning, gibbous, crescent and new moon, and then you need to know the difference between solar and lunar eclipses and then draw relevant diagrams. So that document there will have every single learning outcome on your course broken down into the exact points that you need to be able to do and know before your final exam. And to access it, all you have to do is scan that QR code there. Once you scan that QR code, you'll be able to download it onto your device, or you can just keep it open on your screen in front of you. You can print it out, whichever you want, but that can be your study tool over the next couple of weeks as you prepare for your final exam. Now for some tips for each of the sections. Now, Section A we know is our short questions. In and around, we will have 50 minutes to complete this section, do all 10 questions, about 5 minutes per question. You have to answer all of the questions. You need to know your definitions and get straight to the point. Generally, there's going to be one word or one line answers. There isn't really any room to give really long answers here. You just need to get straight to the point. But if you do need any extra space, there will be some additional writing space at the end of this section. Just make sure and label any extra work that you do clearly so the examiner knows which question it is related to. I'd probably spend a minute or two at the start just reading through all of the questions. Go for the ones you're most confident with first. If you're unsure of a question, put a question mark or an X beside it. Come back to it at the end. If in doubt, guess. Don't leave any blanks. If you leave something blank, you're guaranteed 0 marks. If you put something down, there's a chance you will get some marks. And now, practice, practice, practice. Questions are very, very repetitive, so over the next couple of weeks, make sure that you're exposing yourself to as many past exam papers, mock exam questions as you possibly can. Do them over and over and over again, so you get to know the style of question that comes up, the topics that are coming up a little bit more often than others, and also the key words that the examiners are looking for in the marking schemes. In section B, you'll have about an hour and 10 minutes, 70 minutes to do this section. Read through each question carefully. I know you have to answer all questions, but you might be looking at a question that starts off on something to do with ecology, and you might feel, okay, ecology is my strength, I'm going to go straight into this question. But then further on in the question, they've actually interwoven some genetics into it as well. So go for the questions you're most strongest at first, you're most confident with, and then work your way towards the ones that maybe are a little bit more difficult for you. Just make sure you're including enough points for full marks. So for example, if a question asks you to explain something, a one-word answer will not suffice. If it asks you to name something or state something or list something, then a shorter answer will be fine. So just be careful of the question word, because that will dictate how much you're expected to write. Read the question carefully. Some questions might have two parts in one. Students often only answer part of the questions in this case, and then are losing out on valuable marks for the second part of the question, which might have been included in the one-line question that was asked. And again, practice, practice, practice. Exam papers and marking schemes should be your best friend in the lead up to the exam. Now, some general tips for the exam. First of all, relax. All questions will be based on something you've covered in class. You are not going to be asked something you have never seen before. It is just going to be phrased slightly differently. And that's why it's important to expose yourself to as many different questions as you can in advance of the exam, through past exam papers, through past mock papers, because the more exposure you have to these types of questions and the material that they're looking for, you will start to see that it's always the same questions, always the same material coming up. It's just phrased a little bit different. Read the question carefully. Is the question asking you to state or list or explain? The difference in the question word can dictate how much you're expected to write. Use a diagram if you can. As the saying goes, a picture paints 1,000 words, and this can really help with explanations and some answers. In terms of timing, if you get stuck, just move on. The time that you're spending agonising over one question that you can't do takes time away from answering questions that you can do further on. And as I said before, exam papers should be your main focus right now. Practice them over and over again and use the marking schemes to grade them, making sure you're having a look at the key words that are required in the marking schemes, because if you don't include the key words, you're not getting the marks. Now, before we get into the predictions, just a quick mention of the complete revision package, which is available on the ExamRevision website. On the ExamRevision website, examrevision.ie, there's hundreds of bite-sized video tutorials that can make learning easier for students, and we have a huge number of subjects available there. So what do you get if you were to sign up for an account? Well, you will get your bite-sized video tutorials, you will get PowerPoint presentations for each of the topics, you will get distinction standard notes, all of the past exam paper questions will be there, all of the marking schemes are there, there's self-correcting quizzes, and then there's some exam paper solutions there as well. Now, what subjects do we have on offer? Well, it's not just junior cycle science. We have Irish, maths, English, business, geography, history, home ec, music, religion and science. For every single one of those subjects there, we have our videos, quizzes, notes, PowerPoint presentations, exam papers and marking schemes. And then for a couple of additional subjects like applied technology, classics, engineering and so on, we have exam papers, quizzes and our exam questions. There aren't any videos or notes on those just yet, but they are in development, but you'll still be able to answer or get access to all of the past exam paper questions there. And just to finish on the platform, just to leave a couple of the reviews that have been left from our students. So you can see there, all of them have overwhelmingly found it very, very useful and seen some massive improvements in grades as well. Now, on the back of watching this prediction video, we do have a 40% discount for all of the students. So just go to examrevision.ie and you'll be able to get your discount there, 40% off of the package up until the exams. Now, the main reason why most of you are here is the possible questions for June 2026. Now, as always, there is no way of knowing for sure which questions are going to come up. This is just based on past trends and maybe topics which might not have been there in a couple of years. So I would definitely be looking at the cell and measurement for short questions. Generally, question 1 is going to be based on either one of the two. So measurement, you might be given a couple of pieces of equipment and you have to name the piece of equipment and the unit that is used for that piece of equipment. So for example, there might be a meter stick which you have to label and then give meter, which is the SI unit. The cell, important to know the difference between plants and animal cells, know the diagrams associated with those, know the structures and know the function of each one. The microscope comes in here as well, so just make sure I know the individual parts of the microscope and what each one of them does in terms of being able to view and examine a cell. Celestial objects is always a very common question here. It can usually come up as a kind of a reading comprehension style question, where you might be given a bit of information in a text and answer questions based off it. It might be a fill in the blanks question where they give you a host of blanks or a host of keywords and you have to fill it into the correct location in the text that they give you, or it could be a true or false question. Okay, so very important to know your different celestial objects like asteroid, comet, planet, dwarf planet, satellite, and so on. Your states of matter and change of state, so your solids, liquids, and gases. How do we get from a solid to a liquid and a gas? What's the name of the process? So melting, it could be evaporation, condensation, and can you draw a particle diagram showing the arrangement of particles in solids, liquids, and gases? And then acids and bases here as well. So knowing your pH scale, what pH will give a substance, and what pH is an acidic substance, what pH is a base substance. Know your titration here, so an acid and a base, if we neutralize it, a neutralization reaction in a titration, we get water and salt. Okay, so knowing your acids and bases, and also knowing your indicators here as well. For your long questions, seasons and lunar phases, a very, very common question here. So be able to draw a diagram representing the different seasons on Earth, so spring, summer, autumn, winter, and so on, and also know your lunar phases in the correct order and be able to apply terms such as waning, waxing, gibbous, and crescent. The production of carbon dioxide and oxygen gas experiment hasn't really come up since the exam started in June 2018. You generally only need to know one of these. They will give you the option as to which one you want to answer on. But you do need to know, let's say for carbon dioxide, you need to know the two chemicals that are involved, hydrochloric acid and marble chips. You then need to be able to give a chemical equation to show the production of that gas. And you also need to be able to give a test. How did you know that this particular gas was present? So know both of those experiments. Circulatory system, always a very common one here. So know the structure of the heart, the individual labels, and how blood flows in the heart. Photosynthesis, and know your photosynthesis experiment here as well. So the effect of light intensity on the rate of photosynthesis. That's where you would have used an aquatic plant, an underwater plant, and you would have moved a lamp closer or further away from the plant and counted the number of oxygen bubbles that you see. Very important to know that, and the balanced chemical equation for photosynthesis as well. And then circuits, be able to draw a circuit diagram and know your calculations of voltage, current, and resistance, and know the fact that it is a directly proportional relationship that we have going on there. So overall, hopefully you have found this a little bit useful for your exam coming up in June. As always, these are only predictions. There is no way of knowing exactly what's going to come up in the exam in June, but hopefully they'll be able to guide you a little bit in your study over the next couple of weeks. The very best of luck with your study, and hopefully everybody gets on fine in June.